Welcome in to Chatt It Up Sports live for episode 150, baby. That feels crazy to say. I'm not going to lie to you guys. We're going to test some stuff out. We're live on Instagram, on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube's, LinkedIn. I think I threw it up there today, so that's kind of weird too because we're professionals. We are professionals, friends. We got the core four today. We have a loaded weekend, man. Bama, Georgia, we're going to kick it off right in the gates, and then we're going to go LSU, Ole Miss, Auburn versus A&M, and then the whiteout, Oregon at Penn State. This weekend is so loaded. We're going to ask one thing you've learned so far in the first month of college football, plus much more. Like, subscribe everywhere. Now, Joseph, hit that theme music. Welcome back. Oh, man, this is good to have the boys here. We are two of us in the foundation. My man behind the camera, Joseph Guthrie. What's happening? What's up, dog?
What's going on, dude? What's going on? Fighting anxiety. You know, it's a battle. I'm working on it. You know, we're that much closer to 7:30 at Saturday night where I can finally know the fate of my my precious Georgia Bulldogs. It's been a long week.
It's been a long week. You're here. You've watched all the things. You've watched all the press conferences. It's one of those weeks where you just kind of gear up and just like, hey, man,
yep,
I'm gonna soak all the Georgia isms up this week. This is the week.
Exactly. It's one of those instances where it's like I want to know what everybody has to say. I want to know every angle that everybody's talking about. Like who brought up this, who brought up that, who's leaning where, and it seems like everybody and their mother, minus one guy, shout out Brooks, is on Georgia. So that doesn't make me feel good. But we'll get into where the Chatt It Up boys lean shortly.
Yeah, man, I can't believe it. Boots on the ground in northern Alabama. You're going to have to give us an update of what it's like down there right now. This week's going to be really weird in the state of Georgia and the state of Alabama. Live from northern Alabama. Man, the myth legend, Greg Larnard.
What's up, fellas? Good to see you guys. Again, wish I was in Chattanooga with y'all, but good to be here on the show tonight. A live show. We haven't done a live show in a minute, or at least I haven't been a part of a live show in a minute. I know you guys have done some events and done some live stuff, but excited to be here live on a Thursday night. I know we got Thursday night football as well, Seahawks, Cardinals. Nobody cares because college football is going to reign supreme this weekend. I was just talking to our pitching coach's dad about this matchup. Granted, that man is a big Alabama fan. He truly believes that Georgia is going to win this game. Sorry, Joseph. But does believe that Alabama actually have the more talented team. So take that for what it is. I'll be sure to kind of give y'all an update as the game goes on. I might sneak my way out and about downtown here since I'll be in North Alabama or in Florence this weekend. So I might kind of go out and just check out some of the vibes around here. I haven't really gotten a chance to go out on a weekend yet. So I might check it out during the game and see how everybody's feeling because there are a lot of Alabama fans, but it is kind of a weird mixture. There's a lot of Auburn, a lot of Alabama, and then there's a smattering of Tennessee fans. Our head coach, Ashley Kozar, and her husband, also big Tennessee Volunteer fans. So we love that.
Yeah, you're close. You're right there in a weird mix. You're not quite to Huntsville, but you're a little past that. But it's an area where there's a mixture at a small melting pot of certain Tennessee, Alabama, and Auburn fans. Because I do forget how big Auburn is down there.
Yeah, it's very big,
very big. You have a question for us. We're gonna kick it off, dude. We're gonna go right into Bama at Georgia. What'd you have for us first?
Okay, so Joseph, I want to pose this one to you first, since you are the Georgia fan. Sorry, the Georgia fan in the room. In your opinion, and we're going to talk all about this, but who needs this win more in your eyes? Because I think there's a case to be made for both. Because, again, on the Alabama side, I mean, there's Kalen DeBoer. Is he the guy? Is this too much for him taking over for Nick Saban? And Kirby, as you alluded to off the air, 1-6 under Kirby against Alabama. Of course, the one was a national championship, so you'll take that one. Yep. out of the 7. So give me your opinion, your analysis of, in your opinion, who do you think needs this win more? Obviously, you try to take off your red glasses and your bulldog hat and all of that. But in your opinion, who needs this win more?
Yeah, I don't think. I'll be honest with you. I don't think that's a hard question. I think Kalen DeBoer needs this game more, and I think part of that stems from, yes, you beat Georgia last year, and yes, fun fact, Kalen DeBoer hasn't lost to Dan Lanning, Steve Sarkisian, or Kirby Smart, who are probably ranked in the upper echelon of coaches in college football. He's undefeated against them. Problem is, they've lost a lot as a double-digit favorite, and they have not looked great on the road. So you come in, head coach, first year at Alabama. We know what that roster is. We know what Jalen Milroe is. I expected him to get a little bit more out of Jalen Milroe from a passing standpoint, but he was still just a freak athlete. And all of a sudden, you can't put it together on the road, minus the LSU game, and you go 9-4. Okay, that's not great. It's your first year. You don't have the excuse of, well, I have to put the roster back together. Well, I got to get my guys in here because, brother, Saban's guys were good enough to win.
Yeah.
You don't have that excuse. It's, hey, you got to hit the ground running here. This is Alabama. It's been set up for you to have success. And now you open 2025, and here we are again. You've lost another road game, and you were a double-digit favorite again. And it's like, hey, is Kalen really the guy? And you've played 3 games in 2025. So as far as who needs this game more, I think it's easily Kalen DeBoer. Because if Kirby loses, he's 1-7 versus Bama. It's like, all right, same old story. Georgia, Kirby's got an Alabama problem. Okay? That sucks if you're a Georgia fan. It really does. Because you realize how much you're going to have to play this team, especially with them announcing the schedules for the next few years. But it doesn't suck because we've watched him win 2 national titles with Alabama being present in the college football landscape. I know in 2022 they avoided them entirely because they ended up playing LSU in the SEC title game, didn't play them in the regular season, but you lost to them in 2021, still managed to win a national championship. So Kirby has still proven that he can have success and win national titles as long as he can avoid Alabama. And I don't think if you're an Alabama fan, you want to hang your hat on, kind of like Jimbo did at A&M. Yeah, we can't really have the success we had under Saban, but man, we can beat Georgia. I just don't think that's going to fly. And to be fair with you, I don't think any Alabama fan is going to look at themselves and be like, I'm cool with that. Yeah, we can go like 8-3, 9-4. We're not really relevant in the national championship picture, but boy, when we play Kirby, we got his number. It's just not something you want with the success that program's had. So if you're Kalen and you lose this game, you're 2-2 heading out of September, which most Alabama fans thought at worst they'd be 3-1 at the end of September. Now you're 500. And you lost to a Florida State team that is much better and much improved than last year and has a head coach has an offensive coordinator in Gus Malzahn who is probably not somebody you want to play your first game against trying to break in and play that offensive system, but you're still 500 and you're the head coach at Alabama, and we haven't even made it to October yet. So, yeah, I think Kalen needs this game significantly more than Kirby does.
Now, when it comes to I really would love to make a case for Kirby Smart, but I think you're right. It's not quite the level of like Ohio State, Michigan, where like, hey, if you get this win, it kind of can sustain you like a Michigan fan. If they get the win over Ryan Day and the Buckeyes, it's like, oh, cool. Like, you know, we got the win over our rivals. So like, it's not quite at that point. And everything you said, I agree with. I also want to kind of take it a step further in looking at the remaining schedules for both of these teams and tell you why Kalen DeBoer needs this game more than Kirby Smart and Georgia does as well, to kind of compound on your point. After Georgia, they've got Vanderbilt, who they very well may beat up on. But look, Vanderbilt got them last year. I know this game is at home, so hopefully they should be able to take care of it. But Vandy's hot right now. And I know Drew, our resident Vandy fan, had said at the beginning of the year, game of the year draft, the whole thing that, hey, Vanderbilt might get boat raced in this one. It may not come down to that. It may not happen that way. That's a tough team. Top 25 team currently right now as it sits. The next game you play is at Missouri. And the foot, what do you call him, Joseph? The football nerd, or what
the alpha nerd.
The alpha nerd.
Yeah,
the alpha nerd. And Eli Drinkowitz, you got to go to Missouri. He's resurrected that program over the last couple of years.
They're good right now, man.
Yeah. And then the next game you play at home against Tennessee, and they went toe-to-toe with Georgia. They've proven that they are a good team, even without two of their better defenders. Joey Aguilar seems like the real deal, doing things that Nico Iamaleava never did while he was at Tennessee. The next game, you go to South Carolina. I know Beamer and Lenore Sellers aren't as riding as high as they would have hoped, but still a very difficult team and a difficult place to play. Just ask Hendon Hooker back into, 2022. Yeah. And then you've got LSU at home. Obviously a really good team. We're going to talk a little about them in depth coming up a little later when they're taking on Ole Miss. And then the next game, you're home against Oklahoma. John Mateer will be back at that point. That's a tough game. And then you finish with the Iron Bowl at Auburn, and you never know what can happen. So I'm going to take your point and agree with you, and then just add on, like, the rest of Alabama's schedule is significantly more difficult than what Georgia has. So 100% Kalen DeBoer needs it more.
Because this could be this could be a losing record Bama team if they just go down and start crumbling. Because you're a couple, I hate to say this, but I guess I don't wish this on anybody, but I'm just saying you're a couple injuries away on any team in college football from just being a disaster. Like, we saw how bad South Carolina looked like without Lenore Sellers, and they're not a very good football team to begin with. We don't know how good Bama is right now. This is another measuring stick. That Florida State team might be an absolute juggernaut. We might see the weirdest roller coaster dip of all time for them being undefeated. Unfortunately, Jordan Travis goes down to the biggest disaster in college football in a long time to back to being a very, very promising team. But they may be just all right. We don't know that yet. So there's all sorts of things of the unknown so far this year. I will say that this is a hump Kirby's got to get over, though. This is the one.
Yeah,
this is the one.
I don't disagree. Like, saying that and saying DeBoer needs this game more. I'm not implying that Kirby doesn't need to vanquish this.
Yeah, this is not this is a gray area situation where there's it's not everything has to be one sided. No, it's very close race. I will say, I think you guys are right. It's very close in that situation. I think this is just the final push to show that Georgia, the Tennessee win, that comeback win, them being able to score. I think that was I really think that was more of a Gunner has to prove to the world game. He sure as hell did. And then I think this is the Kirby prove to the world team. I can do this. I'm the guy. I really think this sets him up to be the guy. I think Ryan Day's got a great program up there. Don't get me wrong. I think they're number one for a reason right now, but this is Kirby's game to get over. This is the final boss in a weird way without it being Saban. I know you got one, but 1-3 is not great. And then you lose to DeBoer in his first year, and you realize that Bama team wasn't as great as it has been. They're still super talented. It's so loaded. This is one of those games, like, if you let these guys just go play backyard football, this is going to be an awesome game. Like, we just take the coaches away. It's like the most talented roster you can ask for. It's like, dang, dude.
Yeah.
So I think it's very close. Again, I probably lean towards you guys. I think this schedule turns into just monster fast these next 5-6 weeks. Because it's not crazy to say, like, if Vanderbilt's as good as they seem to be playing and you're just defeated and it's a stinker next week, like, Vanderbilt can beat you again. They did it last year. Why can't they do it again? I understand you're going to have, like, hey, we're way more talented. Sometimes that don't work. And then you're going just down the road of an absolute juggernaut schedule. So Godspeed. I don't know. This could be total disaster. This could be Florida State of last year in some scenario because of the juggernaut they're about to face. And then guys just quit on it. And if it's as lackadaisical as a coaching staff as it seems to be at times, I don't know. DeBoer may not be there very long. which is crazy because then he could also get this team to 9 wins with the hardest schedule in college football right this second and be fine. But they would hate him for it. They would hate him for it.
Yeah, because the bar has been set so high.
Yeah.
To the most unreasonable standard.
Oh, yeah.
Nick Saban's just don't happen.
No. I wonder what his career and his trajectory as a coach would have been if he never went to the NFL and just stayed at LSU.
I think he would have done the exact same thing at LSU he did at Alabama.
I agree.
I think he would have. I think he would have done the exact same thing. I think he would have turned that program into a complete monster. And I think if we're sitting here in 2025, it would have been LSU LSU fatigue instead of Alabama fatigue.
I wholeheartedly agree with that.
Yeah, because I think he was already starting to do that.
Yeah,
and then he tried his hand at the NFL, and
here we are.
Didn't work. So he went to Alabama. I think he would have had success as long if you could have put him. You could have put him in any of those like top 5, top 6 jobs, in my opinion. So like LSU, Bama, Texas, Georgia, Ohio State,
USC,
and he would have probably
there's programs that aren't very great right now, but he would take those too.
Barring that, because what he did when he went to Alabama is he looked at the administration and he was like, hey, if you want to win and you want to win the way you talk about wanting to win, you've got to do things the way I want to do things. Now, I know we listed off those 6 programs. It took a while, and it took Bama becoming Bama before some of these programs were like, oh, hey, we got to listen to somebody else. Because Kirby had that issue. When he came in at Georgia, he was like, y'all are doing this all wrong. And if you want to win like Saban's winning, we have to do this differently. So, like, when Saban, went to Alabama, if he would have went to one of those other programs, they might have said no.
Exactly.
And I don't think he would have taken the job.
No,
I think when he took the job, I think when he took the job at Alabama, he knew what he wanted, and he got it, and it led to 6 national championships, and I think a top 3 recruiting class for 18 years straight or something ridiculous like that. So
it doesn't hurt. I was just going to ask, why do you guys think that he didn't work in the NFL? Like, you obviously were more into college football and whatnot at that time when he was at LSU than I was. And then when he made that jump to the NFL, why do you feel like what he was doing didn't translate to the NFL? Is it simply because there wasn't really a lot of recruiting? It's too much of a business. And then that's why he ended up getting out when he did, obviously age being a factor as well.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. I think there's like a level of command that you have to have. He just had the perfect level of command in college football. And it's just different with mature guys that have families, and we're in our 30s. Like, I wouldn't want somebody just talking down to me. I don't know how he was back then. I don't know. It seems like he's just a great leader of relatively young men. Sometimes that's just the perfect fit. He was just in the perfect scenario for him. And look, it's not the easiest job in the world either down there. And I think that's just a different animal that is the NFL. And it just goes to show you, sometimes you can be the greatest coach of all time in one sport. And we're seeing the opposite side of it right now with Bill Belichick at North Carolina. Sometimes those things don't translate just because it's the same sport, because it's not exactly the same sport in the business side of it, the age group bracket. Because Billy Belichick is not taking North Carolina to new heights year 1.
Not yet. And Ron said, as you guys can see, he said, you can't coach millionaires.
Don't know. I think there's great coaches in the NFL.
Well, people are coaching millionaires now at the college level. So apparently somebody's coaching millionaires at this point.
God, I feel like here's one thing I've anecdotally seen. Do you guys just see the stress factor on a coach's face when like an NIL question comes up?
Yes.
You see that little like eyebrow twitch. They all get that little wrinkle in the forehead now. It's got to be so frustrating because Lane said it the best. He was like, I'm so sick of every family coming in there and being like, they're no longer saying, what's the GPA? What's this? Like, what's it like, classroom wise, no scholarship, no academic stuff. It's like, what's your NIL package? That's got to suck so bad, dude. So bad. But again, I don't know if that's why Saban got out. But why do you think Saban just didn't work?
I'll be honest with you. As far as the NFL goes, I don't know why he didn't work in the NFL. Because I didn't watch enough of Saban in the NFL.
Same. I mean,
I didn't pay, like, when I wasn't paying attention to him when he went to the NFL. Because, like, I was just getting into football, just getting into college football. Like, I was, hey, LSU's pretty good. Oh, their coach is gone. Okay. It's like I didn't understand enough about football and the differences between the college level and the NFL level to know Saban didn't work out because of this.
Yeah.
That personally, that's just me. But
2005, 2006.
Aaron also jumping back in and said that's why we have so many up and down teams in college more than ever right now. You can't coach them. And then continued to say, when you're playing to make millions, you're going to play harder than someone who already has it.
True. But I just think the loyalty is just so different.
It's so different right now. There's not much loyalty. I mean, especially at the P4 level, very rarely at our level here at, the mid-major level, especially, and again, softball, much different than football. I can imagine football, basketball, even at the mid-major level, I've heard numbers thrown around about how much players are making at mid-major institutions, and it's a lot of money. But still with the softball, I mean, and I don't know how it is with baseball as well. I haven't really talked to many baseball coaches, but the softball, it's still, hey, GPA, it's still, what do we got to do? And again, because there's no professional league kind of beyond it, but you're starting to sort of see it creep in. And I'm sure it's creeping in at the P4 level where players go in or they're transferring or they're in the transfer portal. And it's like, hey, like, how much can you offer me? How much? I mean, Najee Kennedy got $1 million.
Exactly.
So it's creeping into these, I don't want to say less popular sports, but the less financially popular sports, I guess we could say.
Yeah, and especially for things like baseball, Tennessee's added to that. I mean, those guys are getting paid heavy six figures. There's a lot of those guys. They're getting endorsement deals. And then the upper level of softball took off, especially the last 2 or 3 years of what they've done as far as coverage in softball and baseball too. It's just taken off to different aspects. And now football is just in this different monster. But also, let's not kid ourselves. And if you're going to say you're going to just stay loyal, that's great. Like if you're at a mid-major and you're making, I'll just even be nice and say you're making six figures. You're making right at $100K a year. That'd be awesome. What a life. What a life right here at UTC. And then Tennessee calls and says, hey, man, here's $1.1 million. You ain't staying in Chattanooga. And honestly, if XYZ college calls and says, hey, I'll give you $200,000. You ain't staying at UTC either, man. Like it's just part of it. It's $100,000. This is life-changing for these kids. And so it's like, man, it's hard not to leave whenever you're getting crazy numbers thrown at you. And, if you're coming from a lower middle class family, like for us, that would have changed our whole lives, Yeah. So it's like, hey, man, I need that. I need to go do that. So it's hard to stay loyal. I think the rules and regulations are coming in. We're going to get that, but we trailed off big time, boys. We did our thing where we rant and we talk, but let's do some picks real quick.
Yeah, let's talk about this game. Can we get into this game a little bit and kind of break it down? And
we're good at trails.
We are very good at going down rabbit holes and things along those lines. I mean, 24 minutes in and we haven't even broken this game down much. Joseph, you wanna start us with this one since it's your squad?
Oh God,
boy. Here we go.
I'm gonna let you just take it, and then Chase and I will just kind of add little remnants here and there.
Yeah, this is
oh gosh,
it's your day, buddy.
Yeah, here we go, man. So I was talking to Chase about this game pre-show, and I was like, I mentioned earlier, I don't feel great about everybody being on Georgia, but I get it from a common sense and logic standpoint. It makes sense to me why they would pick Georgia. Georgia's at home. Alabama under Kalen DeBoer hasn't been great on the road, minus when they dismantled LSU last year. Because I think a lot of people, when they throw that line out there, they forget to throw out the caveat that's like, hey, Alabama absolutely eviscerated LSU at home last year, like 42-13. So they love to throw out the bad road record and then just kind of leave that game out there because they looked horrible against Vandy, and they didn't look great against Oklahoma on the road. And then they played a neutral site game against Michigan, and Michigan couldn't complete a forward pass, and they ended up losing that game. But, man, there's an aspect of this that, to me, when I think about position battles and the advantages that certain parts of this Alabama team have and certain parts of this Georgia team have, I think it's great for Alabama they're getting Jam Miller back.
Yeah.
I think that's huge for their running game because their running game has been just non-existent thus far in the season. But how healthy is Jam? Like he's probably going to say close to 100%, but if you catch a big hit, you catch a crack to that shoulder, like all of a sudden you're sitting at 85. And then getting Tim Keenan back is huge for your D-line. That's huge for your run game and stopping what Georgia wants to do, which is get back to running the football. But coming off that tightrope surgery, boys, Tim Keenan is a big man. It's a really big man. Mm-hmm. And I don't have personal experience with tightrope surgery, but I watched Brock Bowers have tightrope surgery and come back, and he struggled in his first game back. He wasn't 100%. So you're telling me a big man like Tim Keenan is going to come back? I'm thinking he's probably going to be like 80%. So how many snaps is he going to play? Like, we're not truly getting like fully healthy Tim Keenan back for Alabama. But one thing that does scare me, specifically as a Georgia fan, on the defensive side is I really think Alabama's corners can cover. Mm-hmm. I think they can cover well. And I think in the Tennessee game, you got to take advantage of, number one, Tim Banks playing man, which I think that makes it a little bit easier on Gunner. And then you're starting young corners. You don't get to start your veteran guys and Jermod McCoy and Ricky Gibson. So yeah. I think that's an advantage for Alabama, is that you'll be able to cover a little bit better. Keon Sabb is great at the safety position for them. This linebacker core for Alabama, what's their strategy? Are they going to put them back in coverage? Are they going to rush? Are they going to try to pressure Gunner? Because Georgia's kind of had some issues at offensive line. They've been rotating. That right side of the offensive line kind of got eaten at a little bit against Tennessee, whether that was missed assignments, missed communication, free rushers that were just allowed through. On the injury report, Ernest Green was scheduled to be doubtful. And that it sucks to lose who you think you're going to start at your left tackle. But like watching him in the Tennessee game, I'm looking at him and I'm like, man, he's like, you could tell he's hurt.
Yeah.
He's not playing healthy and he's kind of getting whipped. So I don't feel great about him not playing, but I'm almost like, I would rather him not play if he's going to get whipped like that again. And I think the physicality that this Alabama defense will play with, they can match what Tennessee did. So I love that Juan Gaston's coming, or Gaston. I keep calling Gaston because it just
sounds cool. Let's be honest.
I love that Juan Gaston's availability is high for this game and that he's probably going to be playing back. He's probably not going to be playing right tackle like he was. I think he's going to be playing one of the guard positions. I don't know exactly which. But I also am very worried about switching to the offensive side of the ball. I'm worried about Alabama's explosivity because we watched Tennessee do it. And specifically, the aspect that I'm coming at this from is there was a moment in the Tennessee game where Georgia had failed to score a touchdown, but they'd kicked another field goal and they're up 6 points and it's 27-21. And it like you can kind of feel, I don't know how you guys felt as Tennessee fans, but as a Georgia fan, I was like, man, if we can get a stop here and get the ball back, like we can really lean and we can really just kind of suck the energy out of this stadium. And then boom, explosive.
Yeah.
And while I don't think Alabama's going to have a lot of success just stringing together drives because their run game just hasn't been consistent enough for me to think that aspect's going to be there, I do think that they'll be able to, if they get in a hole like that, like a 6-point hole or 7 or a 10-point hole, it's, oh, hey, they just ran 2 plays and all of a sudden it's a 3-point game. Oh, boom, all of a sudden Alabama has the lead because Ryan Williams and Jeremy Bernard are absolutely killing it this year. I know Ryan missed some time because of a concussion, but he come back in the Wisconsin game with a vengeance, absolutely snatched some dude's soul on the sideline. So that's what worries me, is because if you're thinking about this game and you're thinking, well, like, I don't like Alabama's inability to consistently run the ball, and I don't think they'll be able to go on long drives, I would think that's what Georgia's going to want to try to get them to do, is play back, force them to drive the ball, force Ty Simpson to just be smart every time, because he's looked really good thus far against ULM and Wisconsin. And no disrespect to Wisconsin, and no disrespect to
they're not
that
great
program,
teams,
but they are not a good team this year. They're really not good. And they had some surprising rushing success against Alabama. So that makes me think, from a Georgia perspective, that you'll be able to run the ball. You've got 4 backs that have over 100 yards this year, which if you would have told me like last year, that felt like a foreign concept watching this team watching Georgia try to run the ball. Yeah. And now you got in 3 games, really, you got 4 backs over 100 yards. Brother, are we back? But man, I poured over this game and I poured over the stats, and it's like I really want to pick Georgia. But like a game we're going to talk about later on, I have a principle when it comes to this game, because I've been heartbroken so many times. Until they do it, whether it's at home or in Atlanta or in Tuscaloosa or in Indianapolis or God knows where, until they do it, I'm going to pick Alabama, because college football is a weird sport. And what I mean by that is weird things happen when you throw together 18 to 24-year-olds in an environment like that's going to be on Saturday night, and you lay so much out on the line for them when the entire nation is watching a game like this. And I've just seen Alabama rise to the occasion and win this game more times than I've seen Georgia do it. So until they do it, I'm going to roll with Alabama. I hate it. I hate it. But I have a principle, and that is my principle, is that I've got to see Kirby and Georgia. I've got to see them do it. I think they can, and I think they will, but I'm picking Alabama just out of sheer principle. Because like the last thing I need is like last year, where it's 31-30, 31-27. And here comes number 2, man. Just makes some safety, makes KJ Bolden, makes Daniel Harris, makes Dalen Everett, somebody on that back end for Georgia, just makes them look silly. And you got 35 seconds to go, and Alabama just took the lead 34-30. Like something like that. Like that's just, I'm not going to rule out that possibility, because I've seen it happen. So give me Alabama, but go Dogs.
Wow. I know you are a man of principle. Kind of saw that swing coming. Okay. GM, I'm going to let you follow that up.
Okay. Well, yeah, always good to follow Joseph, especially when he's talking about his dogs. So let's talk a little bit about a couple of things that Joseph didn't mention, which is not a lot, because Joseph just talked a lot about their, things happening there with this matchup. So I'll start with Alabama. Talk a little bit about the offense. You mentioned Jam running back coming back this week. How much of an impact is he going to have? Because as you alluded to, Joseph, the running game has not really been a factor. It's been very non-existent. Now, we know that the last 2 weekends, the last 2 games, there really hasn't been a whole lot of resistance for Alabama against UL Monroe, and then Wisconsin with the Badgers as well. You get the aerial attack right, Ty Simpson, outside of that first game, where I know a lot of people in this matchup are going to reference the Florida State game and be like, well, Alabama, they didn't play well against a good opponent in their first time around against Florida State. I'll be honest, and y'all have played sports in some degree. Sometimes it happens, especially as kids. You go out there and you read your press clippings and you assume that something's going to happen. And we all know what happens when you assume, right? You're usually wrong. And when that happens, you assume you're going to go out there, throw your pads out there, and you're going to beat a team. And then they come more ready to play than you are, and you get your ass beat. And then by that time, you get hit in the mouth and you're like, oh, I don't know what to do right now, and I can't recover. And it's exactly what Florida State did to Alabama in this first game. Obviously, Kalen DeBoer after that game, seat smoking hot as it is out there in Crimson Tide land. So Alabama, they are going to have to rely on this passing attack. They're going to have to rely upon Ty Simpson in this matchup. He needs to show that he is him. And no, I'm not referencing the new horror, weird football movie that's coming out
Very
here.
strange trailer I watched yesterday.
Yeah. I don't know about that one. I will probably be skipping that one in the box office this time around. But
not your cup of tea, buddy. Not your cup of tea.
No, not at all. Y'all know the movies that I'm into, the movies that I'm not into, and that certainly. When I first saw the trailer, I was like, "Oh, football movie, cool." He was at what's the actor? What's the actor that's in that? The main guy, the older football player. What's his name? Do you know off the top of your head?
One of the Wayans brothers, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
One of the
Damon.
Damon Wayans, or
I saw him and I was like, oh, like this looks cool. And then it just took a weird dark turn, and I was like, all right, I'm probably gonna skip this one. Anyways, you need to get Ty Simpson more comfortable and confident in throwing the football and then leading this team. And he's shown that over the last couple of weeks, obviously in the couple of big wins he's had, 9 touchdowns, no interceptions. So he's kind of beginning to find his groove, and he's getting his confidence level up as obviously a first-year starter. You need that. And then on the defensive side for Alabama, they need to have good eye discipline in this one to not fall for that Georgia misdirection and to stay locked in. That's something that obviously Zachariah Branch can do really, really well. And Mike Bobo, with the offensive coordinator there, he's very good at setting those things up and utilizing the pieces and the weapons that he has, sometimes playing chess when other people are playing checkers. And now on the Georgia side, 80% of this team is first or second year players. And now they got a little education in growing up. They survived Neyland. They went out there. That's an incredibly big road win, because as we know in college football and in all of the college football environments, Neyland Stadium is one of the most difficult places to play. Gunnar Stockton, these first and second year guys, went out there. They slayed the big dragon that is Neyland Stadium. I know they've had success against Tennessee, so not so much surprising there, but going into that environment and playing well. Now, obviously, Georgia's going to be at home, so it'll be a more comfortable environment there between the hedges. Offensively, I think you're looking at this from a Bulldog perspective, and then kind of looking and saying, like, okay, how do we replicate what Florida State did in week 1? Can Gunnar do some of the things with his legs like Castellanos did? Making big time throws like he did against Tennessee. Like, there are aspects of Gunnar's game that can be replicated, that you can utilize and try to maybe replicate what Florida State did. Now, again, I do believe that Alabama is going to be more ready, obviously, for this game. Big SEC matchup. They're not going to get surprised like they did, it seemed like, against Florida State. And I mentioned the misdirection. Now, on defense for Georgia, in my eyes, they sort of need to tighten up a little bit. Obviously, the defense, the secondary is a little bit young. Joey Aguilar cut them up. And again, got a bit of an education. Hopefully, you escaped with a win there for Georgia. So obviously that's huge. But you're hoping that you can learn from that experience and be better, because they're going to need to be, because the wide receivers are better and more dynamic, more talented on the Alabama side than they are on the Tennessee side. So with that being said, and following what Joseph's principles are as well, I'm going to kind of go in the same direction. And I literally just changed this pick because I was kind of leaning towards Georgia for most of the day today. And then as we started talking about it and I started thinking about it, and I know both teams want to win, but there is such a thing as, hey, needing it more, wanting it more. And I don't know how much of a factor that's going to play in here. But as we talked about to start the show, Alabama just needs this game more than Georgia does. Alabama comes out, finds a way to win this one. I'm sorry, Joseph. I know you can be rooting for the Bulldogs, and this might be just the Alabama blood now running through my veins, but I'm going to go with the Crimson Tide to find a way to go on the road in a big SEC game, because the rest of their schedule is incredibly difficult, and find a way to win this one. Yet again, Kirby falling to Alabama.
Dang, both of y'all are wrong. Interesting.
I hope so.
For Joseph's sake, I hope so as well.
Yeah, and look, I do think that there's 2 ways that I think there's small similarities in the way that Alabama can attack the way Tennessee did. Because also, you got to think now, Chris Brazzell is rising up as a wide receiver in the draft stock. This guy's a real deal. Like, they've faced a probable right now first-round draft pick in Brazzell. So it is moving in a way where it's like, hey, man, we know we got beat with. And there were plenty of times, especially through that first half, I couldn't believe I was watching a Georgia defense. There were just wide open crossers. And I was like, dude, give us these all day. Joey was very decisive. But here's the thing. That is second half of Georgia. And even throughout the game, I just thought Georgia's execution, I thought Bobo had them, their timing was immaculate. Like, I don't feel like they were just dicing us up, rolling out, and just waiting on guys to get open. It was a lot of very quick decisions. I thought the branch tutty, like, yeah, you had some big plays. You had the 45-yard catch, and it's like, okay. But I really thought that Bobo drew up a plan and had them dialing in on all cylinders. He's got 2 weeks to prepare for them. I just don't think this is the same Alabama team. I think Kirby's got it. I really do. I think there's the little brother, whatever crappy analogy that they have over them. But I also think this big brother's like, hey, man, we've been working out. We've been lifting, took a couple boxing classes. Yeah, it's time to go down. I think Gunner is much better than I expected. And I don't think he has to be freaking Peyton Manning for the Colts making every decision at the line, but I think they're going to be quick. They're going to be decisive. I think Zachariah Branch is an absolute game changer. If you can run for almost 200 yards on Tennessee, I think you can run 200 yards on anybody. I really do. I think this defense is very talented for Bama, but I just don't know how organized they are. Because look, not everybody's Gus Malzahn, but I think Bobo's going to have a great strategy. I think Gunner's the right guy. And every Alabama team has struggled against a running quarterback. So do most teams. I get it. But I think Gunner's the perfect guy. This is a situation I think he can tear them up. I think it's going to look a little different than the Tennessee game because you mentioned this Bama team's not going to run man on man. They're not going to kill us with the double cross stuff and just, basically run picks, things like that, like they had. But I really feel like this is a Georgia staple game, and they are going to make a statement. I like Georgia to win. I like Georgia to cover. This is one of those things, man. The boys out in Vegas, the boys on all the picks and whatnot are probably going to pick Georgia too. So me and the public, we're riding, baby. We're riding.
Saddle up.
From your lips to God's ears, baby.
I will never, ever say the phrase and mean it. I'm going to just reiterate it because it's, it's one of those things, but I won't say go Dogs and mean it. But I will say this is going to be a win for Kirby. This is a win for Kirby Smart.
I hope so. I do. I mean, I like.
What's your ESPN meter scale right now?
You like mine?
Yeah, yours.
Like 52-48.
Okay, it's better than I thought. I thought you really fallen off a wagon here. I thought you were going to say 60.
No, honestly, like, oh, you mean for Bam? No, it's 52-48 for Georgia.
Yeah.
Like, I think Georgia's going to win this game, but I'm picking Alabama on sheer principle.
Yeah,
that they have just owned this matchup, and I know it'd be different if last year when we picked this game. I think I still picked Alabama on principle, but I was much more confident. I was like, it's Kalen DeBoer. And then Jalen Milroe just looked unstoppable.
Yeah, it's like is Ty Simpson going to do that?
In the first
No, I mean, Ty's an athlete, but he's not Jalen Milroe athlete. Like, he's not, oh, hey, this linebacker has an angle on me, and all of a sudden he doesn't.
Yeah, it won't look the same.
Like, he's not going to I think specifically to some of those free rushers and some of those times where they had Milroe and it was like, oh, here comes a sack, and then Jalen just out athleted people. Like, I think
does Georgia have that level of defense that they had last year?
I actually think they're better on defense. I think they're more talented on defense.
I think the secondary is better.
Year. Yeah,
okay. Crazy enough.
I don't think they have that. Okay, don't get me wrong. This defense, and they didn't have it last year. They don't have a Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter. They've been missing that since Jalen left. They have not had that guy.
Two of the best.
Yeah. And you watch them in the NFL, and you're like, I get it now. Like, I get it.
Yeah,
it makes sense. They weren't just really good in college. I think they've got some good
Jordan
college
Davis,
guys.
Almost 20 miles an hour this week, boys.
Yeah, brother was moving.
Big boy moving.
Dude, I hold a special. JD will always be like one of my favorite Georgia players ever. Hold a special place in my heart for that man.
Those Bulldogs can move on their feet and behind the wheel.
They do tend to do that.
They're good.
So they think Elijah Griffin's going to be that. They have hopes. There were comparisons coming out of camp in spring. It's like, hey, this might be This might be our guy. But he's just a freshman.
Just a freshman.
He's just a freshman. So give him time. Like, we don't know. So that aspect, they do not have that dude in the middle of the defense on the defensive line. But I think they're really good at linebacker. I think they're really athletic at linebacker. I saw, and everybody saw, panic from the DBs in the Tennessee game. You saw it. I think they needed that. And luckily you got out there with your DBs got cooked like that and you got out of there with a win.
Exactly.
Again, we said it post Tennessee game. I was not a Dalen Everett guy when Keely Ringo was across from him. I thought Dalen got picked on and he got cooked. And now he's proven to himself that he can be the guy. So, like, I don't know. I think Georgia will win. I'm picking Alabama. That's where I'm at.
Okay.
And I don't want to sit here and beat a dead horse with it, but
that's where we're at.
That's where I'm at. I think Georgia will win. I'm picking Alabama.
All right. That's fandom to its finest. All right. LSU, Ole Miss. The Kiffin household is divided right now, boys. I'm sure you all seen the wonderful news that Miss Young, I can't remember her first name.
Landry. Yes.
Landry.
Yep.
Landry Kiffin is now dating Mr. Weeks, the handsome young linebacker for the LSU Tigers.
Yep. Well, there's three of them.
Yeah, there's one of the 3 weeks. They all hunt. They all got six packs. They all look the freaking same. They all got great heads of hair. Studs. Cool. Good job, genetics. I'm very interested to see this one because these are two teams that, I didn't know what the hell they were going to be this year. Supposedly, LSU might have one of the best defenses ever with the craziest looking secondary you could imagine. But I don't know if they can score, which is weird because they've been one of the best offenses and they couldn't stop anybody.
Exactly.
Brian Kelly just has this weird way of doing things. I think Ole Miss has two stud quarterbacks. Trinidad's starting again. Can Lane coach? Can Lane beat this LSU team? I have no idea, but I'm going to pick this game shortly because I don't know what I want to do yet. You want to start us again? Yeah.
I assumed you'd start, but like,
I don't know. I'll decide here in a second.
I'm with you. I mean, LSU, it seems like they're the inverse of what they were the past 2 years. It's like, hey, if you could just get the defense, not even to get the defense right, because this year they're better than right. Their defense is fantastic.
They have a 6'5" corner,
which is insane. And Harold Perkins looks phenomenal.
He was a huge question mark.
Yeah. Well, like, we didn't know what he was going to be this year. They had swapped him around in positions. We didn't know how he felt about it. He's looked great this year. Now the offense is struggling. Now LSU can't run the ball. Brian Kelly doesn't really want to answer questions about that. But
sure does not.
And they said that Garrett's hurt. But how hurt? Because, yeah, LSU can't run the ball. Ole Miss can't exactly stop the run. They're 100th in rushing yards per game. So if LSU can find some kind of run game, that makes me feel good about them in this game. Because, don't get me wrong, you made an apology on this podcast, Chase, earlier on about an individual.
Mm-hmm.
I might be on that same track about a whole team.
You got one game.
Because I was not on Ole Miss this year. I thought they'd be not bad, but I thought they'd take a step back. And I thought mostly because of Austin Simmons. I thought he was talented, but I thought he was young. He tended to turn the ball over, and we saw that. And then he got hurt, and Trinidad Shambliss starts playing. And I'm like, oh, here comes the D2 transfer that's played a lot of football and is smart with his decision-making and seems to have a grasp on the system that Lane wants to run. That prediction might go out the window that Ole Miss is going to be 7-5. You guys know something interesting about this game from last year?
What's that?
LSU won this game.
Yeah.
They did not lead in regulation. They did not take a lead in this game until overtime.
Interesting. I guess
at LSU.
I forgot about
that. Was at LSU. So, factor. Is Caden Durham going to have space? Is it all going to be on Garrett? Is it going to be one of those situations where this LSU team on Saturday at it's 6:45, game's almost over, late in the fourth quarter, and you're just sitting there thinking, and you're like maybe Ole Miss has a lead, and you're thinking, man, it if Garrett hadn't done what he'd done, LSU would have got rolled. Caden Durham was just not effective against a run defense that has proven to not be the best in the country. And we've seen when Garrett has to make plays like that, and it's all on him, it hasn't gone well for LSU. Is he going to roll out and throw another just blatantly horrible pick like he did against Florida?
Yeah.
How good is Trinidad Chambliss? How good are these weapons for Ole Miss? Are they going to be able to consistently move the ball against this LSU defense?
You're talking about a 7-point win against Kentucky.
Yeah.
7-point win against Arkansas.
Now, I will say...
Beat down at Tulane. That was very surprising.
Yeah. The 7-point win against Kentucky, Austin Simmons had 2 really, really horrendous picks in that game.
Yeah, sure did.
So that's something you have to factor in when you look at the score of that. I've went back and forth on this game as far as who to pick. And I've kind of come up with reasons why both of them will win. But ultimately, man, on a wild card, I think I'm going to go with the Wizard. I think I'm going to go with Lane. And I think Ole Miss is going to win this game at home. I don't feel great about it because a lot of people are on Ole Miss. And that LSU defense is for real. But I don't like the idea of Ole Miss having to go, or LSU having to go on the road with a shaky run game and a quarterback that's hurt. He's still playing, but he's not 100%.
No way.
And play in that environment. And it's kind of a get-back game for Ole Miss after last year. I thought LSU would be good, but they haven't lived up to what I thought they would be in my head. And I think they're gettable, and I think they're going to go down this weekend. So give me the Rebs. Give me Trinidad Chambliss. Give me Lane Train. Like 30-26.
Okay. You think they get in the 30s on them?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I think so.
Okay. I'll roll. I'm gonna match you. I think this is no doubt Ole Miss in my mind, and the reason why I don't think Trinidad's not going to play flawless here. It's not going to play flawless. It's kind of like when Joey played Georgia. We're like, he's throwing his first pick. Trinidad will throw his first pick in this game. That LSU defense is going to get you somehow. But here's the thing, is I think he's smart enough, and you mentioned he plays a lot of ball. He's played a lot of ball. I don't care what level it's at. It's a lot of football. He is somebody that has kind of cooked people. He cooked Arkansas on the ground. He did it the last game against Tulane. I think that's going to be a really tough piece of the puzzle to stop for LSU. They're like, oh, shit, this dude can really move, make smart decisions, knows when to pull it. Lane's going to draw up some certain plays. Like he did it with Jackson Dart, the guy starting for the New York Football Giants this weekend. He'll draw up some run plays for his quarterback, and they're not slide material. This is like, I'm gonna hit you in the mouth with my quarterback, because that's what we do, because we're Ole Miss, baby. The defense is a lot better than I thought for both teams, honestly. But LSU is gonna get you. I don't think it's gonna be quite as high scoring. I think Ole Miss wins in an ugly one. I think this is like 24-20. Nussmeier's just not it, man. Like I don't think he's a bad quarterback, but he's beat up. I don't think that line's great to him. I don't think it's this full on Jackson Arnold at Oklahoma, but I think it's getting a little disservice because I think, there's some injuries, there's just some he's a little beat up. Like I think there's just a lot of opportunities that they tried so hard to fix that defense that I don't know if the offense just figured it out yet. Maybe they will. There's so much talent. Obviously, it's LSU. What you do. But I do think Lane's really got this train cooking. And again, Texas Tech's proven it to me. The mercenary, let's just get all transfer portal guys, might work if you find the right dudes. And this is what he had to do. And he's making it work. And it's very strange that Austin Simmons and Chambliss are on this team. It's not like who's worse. It's actually welcome to depth at quarterback. So I love what I'm seeing from Chambliss. I think this is going to be a very hostile game. That Ole Miss environment is going to be really tough to play. And I don't think Nuss can do it by himself with a subpar offensive line right now and a subpar run game. I I don't know. Kelly's one of those guys that'll take too much to heart, and he'll try to run it 15 times just to prove a point in a press conference. So I think that's going to get to him. I think Lane's got him. 24-20, Ole Miss. G-Money.
Boy, I've been sitting here in my kitchen stirring, listening to both of you guys talk about this game. Did some research before the show. Have been thinking a lot about this game. This in the Georgia-Alabama game, I've been stewing about most of the day, thinking about, man, going back and forth. Do I want to pick this game? Do I want to pick that game? I just want to share this with Aaron. Once again, Ole Miss by 10. We've seen the way Syracuse manhandled Clemson, and LSU could barely scrape by. I hear what everybody is saying. And I really don't like Brian Kelly in terms of thinking that he can win in a big way. But I also have the same skepticism about the Lane train. I know he may have the great genetics and the beautiful daughters and all that good stuff. But something is telling me that Brian Kelly and LSU is going to go into Oxford, Mississippi and find a way to win. This feels like the get right Grant Nussmeier game. You may want to reference the Florida game, and Nuss didn't play very well, but that Florida defense is pretty darn good.
They sure are.
They just, they played really well against Miami, and Miami was humming offensively. And you look at the running game. We've talked a lot about the running. You guys talk a lot about the running game. But in that game, Caden Durham rushed for 95, 97 yards against a good defense. Ole Miss doesn't have that level of defense. I understand the offensive line a little banged up. Nuss is a little banged up, but dude still threw out 300 plus bills through the air last week, 3 tutties. Again, I get it. Southeast Louisiana, I understand it, but he's shown that he can do it at least, healthy enough to do it. I hate picking 2 road teams in the SEC in one weekend. I hate to do it, but I'm going to roll with the Tigers. I'm going to roll with the Bayou Bengals to beat Ole Miss in Oxford, Mississippi. I know Chambliss is playing great, and I've got a lot of stats that can back up Ole Miss that I was looking at, and I've written them down, and I was planning to regurgitate them and talk about them on the show tonight. But something in my head just flipped, and I'm saying, you know what? I think LSU, especially with that defense, they're going to make some ways. They're going to make things very difficult for Mr. Chambliss in this game. Like you said, Chase, probably make a mistake or two, and that's how they'll win this game. It'll be a little ugly, but they'll find a way to do it. That Ole Miss defense, not great, not as good as Florida's defense, and I know Florida's having a bad year. So I'm going to roll with LSU, and I hate to do it. I hate to pick 2 road teams in the SEC in one weekend. And I just had a 4-0 weekend last weekend, and it's on the verge of going up in smoke. And I could be easily 0-2 with these 2 picks, and I could fall right back down to earth. But you know what? Let's look at the flip side. Could go 2-0. We could be separating ourselves from the pack. So I'm going to roll with LSU in this matchup.
All right.
Greg, can I give you one parting angle?
Please.
Because you brought up the Florida game for
Okay.
LSU. LSU won that game 20-10.
Yep.
Their offense put up 13 points. They were handed 5 extra possessions.
That they were.
And they only amassed 13 points.
Hey, that's Florida's defense is good.
I respect it. The Florida defense is good.
If they get 5 turnovers against Ole Miss, I guarantee you they'll put up more than 13 points against Ole Miss.
I would hope so. Because if they do it twice, oh my God.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think Baton Rouge would have a meltdown if they got 5 picks again.
Yeah, and again, it won't surprise me whatsoever if LSU loses this game. It really won't.
Yeah,
I really wanted to pick Ole Miss. You guys are talking up Ole Miss. I'm like, you know what? Something is telling me LSU. I'm gonna go
with the gut.
Go with the gut, man.
Go with the gut. I'm gonna go with Brian Kelly, which is a scary, scary statement to say. But I'm gonna go with the gut, and I'll take the 2 road teams in these first 2 matchups.
Okay.
Just hoping.
It's bold strategy, Cotton. We'll see if it pays off.
It sure is, buddy.
Yeah. This is another one that feels like everybody's taking Ole Miss too. Like, dude.
Yep.
There's so many people on this. These games scare me. It just feels right for both Georgia and for Ole Miss to win. But
I mean, Landry's getting all the intel from weeks. So I mean, they've got that angle as well. They've got that advantage.
how much ball does Landry know? I'd like to know.
I would assume she.
I feel like Lane's one of those people. It's like, hey, let's come in here and talk to Dad.
Yeah,
and they're just like on a whiteboard. And she's like, God, if I could just get out of here. Again, get out of here. All right, this is one very intriguing. Two of the best running quarterbacks, two of the most versatile quarterbacks in the SEC. We have the Auburn Tigers headed down to Texas A&M. I don't know. Like, Texas A&M really surprised me. I picked them to beat Notre Dame, but I was not feeling super confident about that week at all. Yet, that was one of the best performances I've ever seen. And Jackson Arnold fought his ass off last week, despite what it was against Oklahoma. I know he wanted that one. That's got to hurt whenever you just can't get your team back. You're like, dude, I wanted to get them so bad. That place might have ruined him, but thank goodness he found a good spot. I think he's in a good spot in Auburn. Not great, but good spot. G, care if we start with you, brother? We'll make this reverse circle here.
Yeah, no, let's start with me on that one. I'll kind of make this one a little quicker than the others. I picked two road teams to win. I am going to pick the home team. I'm going to take Texas A&M in this one. Look, Auburn, SEC's top run defense. They've allowed one touchdown on the ground all year, 2 yards per rush, pretty damn impressive, and 58 rushing yards per game allowed. Now they just held, OU to I think 30-something rushing yards in this past week's game. That was incredibly impressive. By all means, maybe should have won that game, but kind of got away from them. And as you mentioned, Jackson Arnold would have been a great get-back revenge game for him, but didn't happen. Thank you.
So bad, dude.
Oh, so bad. Thank you, referees, for not fully paying attention to what was happening. And there's some good things, also to like about Auburn's defense, but that secondary is incredibly questionable. 233 yards per game they've allowed, 63% completion percentage, and 6 touchdowns through the air. We look at Garrett's Baylor Bears, Sawyer Robertson, their quarterback.
Boy can cook.
Dude, 420 yards through the air and 3 tutties in that one. So John Mateer, 271 and a touchdown last weekend. Texas A&M, look, they're averaging 157 yards per game on the ground. Something's got to give there. The wide receiver duo that they have there, Mario Craver and Casey Concepcion, those boys are amazing. So you have those guys there. I'm going to go with Texas A&M. I'm going to pick them to win. I'm going to take a home team in the SEC matchup this week.
I'll just match you there. This is no doubt. I'm just going to take all the home teams, I guess. That's what it feels like right now. But I will say that I'm surprised at how good I knew this wide receiving core was going to be a lot better this year for Texas A&M. But damn, I did not expect this. Like, Mario is awesome. That Notre Dame game, thank goodness that sometimes the good Lord allows you the ability to like fall asleep for just the right amount of time, and then you wake up and you watch the second half. Those are the best. Those are the best times, and I got to do that. Fell asleep on the couch and was like, oh, crap. And I woke up. Game's still going on. I'm just watching this incredible comeback. And I'm like, yes. Thank you. Thank you. So I'm just, this is gonna be a fun one. I wished I had 14 TVs. This is one of those. I wished I had a wall of TVs this weekend. There's just so much going on that I was like, I need to watch all these games because Tennessee also plays at 4:15. So I was like, dadgummit, dude. Give me a slot that I can watch one game at a time. But they said, no, not this week. Give me Texas A&M. Again, this is going to be a battle for them. I think this is going to be a little bit lower scoring. I think this is going to be like a 28-17 game, but I think Auburn's going to hold them as much as they can, but this is a pretty high-powered Mike Elko offense. So 28-17-ish. We're going with Texas A&M.
Well, I'll go ahead and get my pick out of the way. I'm not any different. I am also rolling with Texas A&M. There's something I said about the schedule makers when we were talking about Florida. I said whoever decided that DJ Lagway should have to play Reuben Bain and Harold Perkins in back-to-back weeks is cruel. And then I'm assuming that same person is also who decided that they should send Auburn on back-to-back road trips to Oklahoma and Texas A&M, because that's just brutal, dog. That's just brutal.
Let's give you John Mateer, who you already knew going in was like he was going to be a stud of some sort. You know, I don't think people thought he was going to be probably the best overall quarterback. And then you give him Marshall Reed back to back.
Yeah, and I will say, while Auburn's run defense looks good statistically, I'm skeptical of Oklahoma's traditional run game. And what I mean by that is, like, when it's not Ben Arbuckle scheming up some way to get Mateer in the run game and using him as an asset and then having that extra body because you're running your quarterback. I think Texas A&M has a much more traditional run game and a way better offensive line. At least the way they've been playing, way better offensive line than what Oklahoma's marching out there. So I think from a traditional run game standpoint, I think A&M will be able to have some success on the ground. Le'Veon Moss has been an absolute tank for them. Then you also mention the fact that Marcel Reed's probably on the same athleticism scale as John Mateer. So they'll be able to add that wrinkle in. Colin Klein will be able to mix in those Marcel Reed runs. So there'll be a lot of creative ways that Colin Klein can move the ball. The thing that scares me a little bit about A&M is that all those pass yards that they racked up in that Notre Dame game, a lot of them were yards after catch.
Yeah.
And some of those balls were a little sketchy. I mean, Marcel Reed was a 46% completion guy in that game. He was 17-37. So I think there's a world where some of those balls end up in the cornerback's hands for Auburn. But I don't know if they'll go out and want to pitch it 37 times against Auburn if they don't have to. I don't think Colin Klein wants to rely on that. But I do think he will dial up some winners for Casey Concepcion and Mario Craver. So at the end of the day, I just think A&M has more creative ways to move the ball, to get points, to keep drives going. Because with this Auburn team, I mean, Jeremiah Cobb's looked good. He's averaging like 7 yards a carry, but it feels like they're really, really reliant on Jackson Arnold running the ball to keep that in motion. And then as far as downfield passing game goes, it kind of just feels like, hey, is Cam going to just moss some kid today?
That's really their only option.
And I thought this passing game would be much better with Eric Singleton Jr. being involved and throwing him in with Cam Coleman. Like, I thought this passing game would be much further along than it is now, and it just hasn't seemed to get there yet. So
Jackson's relatively limited.
Yeah.
Relatively.
Yeah. As far as his ability to make multiple reads, find the intermediary game, Jackson has not been. He's been really holding on to the ball, and I think that's contributed a lot to the 10 sacks that Oklahoma got last year. Is because he's like, hey, first guy's not open, second guy's not open. Hey, it's been 4 seconds. I'm still holding the ball. You can't do that in this league. You cannot do that in the SEC. So give me A&M. Kyle Field's going to be juiced up, especially after that big Notre Dame game, that win.
Mm-hmm.
They're coming off a rest. Texas A&M had a bye. Auburn had to go play just a absolute slugfest against Oklahoma. So I don't like the spot that Auburn's in. I think you'll see some fight out of them. Yeah. Like, I think early on this game will be close. Maybe you go into halftime and it's tied, or maybe Auburn even has a lead. But I think late in the third quarter, early fourth quarter, it'll kind of start to show that Auburn played a road game last week and A&M didn't. So give me the Aggies. Give me Marcel Reed, those receivers, and Le'Veon Moss.
It's going to be hard to stop. That's the thing. It's just Auburn's just limited on offense.
Yeah. I'm still a little I still don't know how I feel about A&M's defense, so I think there are plays for Auburn to be made. But again, the spot's it's just rough.
This 7:30 slate. Get the fuck out of here, dude.
Dude, between the 3:30 slate and the 7:30 slate, you're right. There are not enough TVs. there's too much ball. What? No, hang on. You can't say that. I can't say that. Because anybody that tells you that
okay,
that's negativity you don't need in your life.
If you're not,
there is no such thing as too much ball.
It's overwhelming ball. Can I say that? Because I don't have.
That's
so
fair.
after
That's
the
fair.
after the 4:15 game, I just go into being ball watcher, not fan.
Yes.
For you, it's like you have your main TV at 7:30. Now you are in a different spot at 3:30 because it's just like, what the hell do I watch?
Yep. I think I'm going to be, if we're being honest here, I think I'm going to main screen Ole Miss LSU.
Same.
Side screen A&M Auburn.
But still, there's a lot.
There's still
that's the thing is like, God. Anyways, I just want to be 4-screen basement TV rich, and
I don't even think
and 8-person barrel sauna.
Yeah.
Shut up. This is my dream. Okay,
that's fair.
This is why I want to be rich.
Understand.
I don't ask for. I want an 8. I think I want an 8-person barrel sauna that gets up to 215 degrees.
Yeah, and 4 TVs on the wall.
And 4 TVs on a wall. Yeah, I just want patio get it finished first, and then we'll go from there.
Where are we almost finished with that?
Baby steps.
We sure are. We're 1 week away.
Sweet.
My boy Earl's chipping away at it.
Baby steps.
Exciting.
Chipping away. Damn rain got me this week. Anyways, Oregon, Penn State. I'm really looking forward to this game. I'm really looking forward to this. Like, it kind of pisses me off that I love that it's at night. I love both these games. They both belong at night. But do we have to do this? Can you give me a Friday? I don't know. Can we put Penn State and Oregon on Friday? Like, I know you can't. You can't, but I need it for my own sanity because I don't know.
Yeah, I get it.
It's just a lot. It's just a lot.
I get it.
And the whiteout, Dan Lanning's got a lot of FU. I'm sure you guys saw the shoes.
I did. Have you seen the full uniforms?
Yeah.
They look sick. Shocker. Oregon looks good.
Who would have thunk?
Who saw that coming?
Who would have thunk? Dude,
they're always going to look good. Always going to look good in the whiteout at night in Happy Valley. It's going to be amazing.
I wonder what Dan Lanning's going to roll with. Is he going to go like pretty sweet white too? He's got a lot of FU this year. Like he's got a different swag about him.
He's got a chip on his shoulder.
Yeah,
and that's like the last guy you would want to have a chip on his shoulder.
Yeah.
It's like, oh,
that's dangerous for the rest of college football.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. And this team's a lot better. This team's a lot better. I mean, I knew they'd be good. I mean, they're still Oregon, but it's like, dude, you replace that Dylan era, and then you go into, I don't know, what is Dante? Dante's been awesome. This team's awesome. This is I know they're ranked 6th, 5th in the coaches poll, so top 5 team in my opinion. This team's really freaking good. I'll just go ahead and start it here. On the fact that I hate the 3-hour cross the country rule. I think that really plays a factor in a lot of things, but not this time. Penn State's kind of the same, maybe just a little bit more talented. Everybody's like, well, they can run on them. It's like, sweet. They ran for like 297 yards on Oregon last year. Still lost in the Big Ten championship. Here we are again, boys. James Franklin, big game. Whiteout, night. Ain't going to do it. I believed in Penn State early on. I'm going against a lot of my early predictions. See you later, ego. I'm picking this week. Oregon Ducks roll, baby. This is an FU game. This is Dan Lanning's like, hey, we're probably the best team in the country. And this might show it. This really might show it. Like, we are the most complete team in the country. We can go into their little cute whiteout and then absolutely dominate. Dan Lanning, again, let's say it again. Our favorite coach, if we were an awesome D1 recruit, I would probably go play for him.
100%. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, we talk about the swagger, the color, the chip on the shoulder. Everything about Dan Lanning and that program has elevated since he's gotten there. Super excited about this matchup. Chase, you just sort of outlined it with James Franklin and being incredibly fraudulent. We've gone over this. James Franklin, terrible against top 5 teams. And as you alluded to, top 5 in the coaches poll. They win this game, which they will, Oregon. And they'll be the number 1 team in the nation, as they should, or at least number 2 at the very least. Here's another nugget for you. Penn State has lost at least 1 home game in each of the last 5 seasons. The last time it went undefeated at home was 2019, which was the last time it hosted a primetime whiteout game. But that's not deterring me, fellas. And they'll lose this game, and then they'll win the rest of their home games because they've got Northwestern at home. They've got cute number 11 Indiana at home. And then they've got, the Patrick Mahomes wannabe Dylan Raiola and the Nebraska Cornhuskers at home as well. They'll finish, with 1 loss at home this season. It's going to be this week. It's going to be to Oregon. You mentioned it. Dante Moore has been everything you could have wanted him to be and more so far for Dan Lanning and the Oregon Ducks. 11 tutties, 1 interception, a 75% completion percentage. And I get it. You could say the schedule. Oh, who have they played? Montana State, the no longer Mike Gundy's, fighting Mike Gundy's there in Oklahoma State, Northwestern, Oregon State. Like, there's not a lot of competition that they've faced.
No.
But for the most part, they've crushed everybody's face that they've played outside of Northwestern, at Northwestern, cool environment there, 34-14, did what they had to do to win that game. The defense has shown up against lesser opponents. I get it. Penn State, big environment. Dan Lanning will have them ready. The chip will be on the shoulder, and Oregon will go on to win this game.
It's weird going last in these spots. I know.
Not right now. I've never felt better about a game.
Okay.
No. Earlier on, gentlemen, I said I am a man of principle. Okay.
That you are.
I am a man of principle. And that led me to pick the Alabama Crimson Tide. Gentlemen, that same principle is leading me to pick the Oregon Ducks. Because until James Franklin does it, I'm not going to believe he can do it. I'm going to make him make me look stupid. And that's fine. Because the moment it happens, come on the show, James, tip of the cap, sir. Well done. But it's not just James Franklin. It's Drew Aller. I need Drew Aller to show up in these big games. We went out and we got some receiver picks. You grabbed Trevor Pena, who was Syracuse's leading receiver. He hasn't quite lived up.
No.
And you're telling me, yeah, I know they played 3 toasters to open the season. I get it. Are they saving something? I don't know.
I don't think you'd have to be saving a lot.
I don't think they are. I don't think they are. I think Penn State is who they are, and we've seen what they are. And man, until I see them go out and just take a game from somebody who's on a level playing field or better than them, I'm going to roll with the team that I've seen do it in Oregon. And we talked about teams needing games. We talked about coaches needing games with Kalen DeBoer and Kirby Smart. There isn't a coach on the planet that needs this game. We're talking about Mike Gundy doesn't even need this game as bad as James Franklin needs this game. And Mike Gundy just got fired. There is no better time, because if Oregon goes out and loses this game, you got Indiana, who just body bagged at Illinois. I get it.
Let's not rehash
I get
that.
it.
Let's not rehash that. That's my bad.
But that's Oregon. You're not going to do that. You're not going to do what you did to Illinois to Oregon. Oregon's got Indiana at home, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
They got Rutgers, Wisconsin, Iowa, Minnesota, USC, Washington. They'll be favored by probably a touchdown, if not more, in every game they play this year, depending on how good Washington is and how good USC is. And we'll find out this weekend, because Washington plays Ohio State and USC plays on the road at Illinois. The whole time thing, I got to thinking about that. And yeah, I think body clocks matter, but in a game like this, I feel like it's not as big as a factor. I feel like where that really catches teams off guard is noon kicks for West Coast teams and 7:30 kicks for East Coast teams, because the body clock significance there is 9 a.m. and like 10:30 p.m. For body clocks for Oregon, it's like 4:30. They're up.
Yeah.
They're awake.
It's loud.
Yeah. Feels good. Midday, little stretch, little jump,
It's like
Yeah.
prime
And
time.
that absolute psycho on the sideline named Dan Lanning.
Full
And
psycho.
the
now.
full wizard that he has in Will Stein. Like, don't get me wrong. I know Jim Knowles,
It's a
he
good
saw
get.
this team last year. They got him the first time. The second time, he absolutely shut them down. And no, I'm not saying it's not the same defense. He does not have Jack Sawyer and JT Tuimoloau. They're not walking out on that field for him for Penn State. But Denai Dennis Sutton's still pretty good.
They still got a good squad.
AJ Harris is still pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
DeCorian Moore hasn't seen a corner like AJ Harris yet. Not in college ball because he's only played 4 games. True freshman. So he's going to get a taste of what it's like to be in a hostile environment and have an NFL corner on the other side of him.
Get nervous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Dante Moore's looked chill. He's looked just poised and controlled. He hasn't looked rattled. And I know it's still, they haven't played in an environment like this. They played on the road at Northwestern. And Northwestern's playing in, no disrespect to Northwestern, but basically a soccer stadium.
Yeah.
They're playing in like a high school soccer stadium, not even like a Premier League soccer stadium.
Yeah.
So it's not exactly like a riled up home field environment on the lake there.
Yeah, it's like people stopping by,
Yeah, it's like a casual stroll through the park. Oh, there's a football game.
It's a cool environment. Cool environment, though.
Yeah,
it is. Like on the lake. It's a cool state.
Yeah, it was cool.
What they doing over there?
Yeah,
football game.
Oh, they got those roller benches over there.
It's not quite the same as 100,000 in Penn State all wearing white screaming at you.
That place is going to be awesome.
It's going to affect Oregon. It is. Anybody that tells you it's not is just not giving Penn State and Happy Valley the credit that they're due, because Dante Moore hasn't seen something like this. And we don't know how good he's going to be on the road. I think he's going to be okay. I think Will Stein's going to have him ready to go. I think he's going to cater to the environment for his quarterback and his offense. But where it really gets me is I think this Oregon defense is going to be a lot for Drew Aller.
Yeah.
And I know people are keying on the run game. And the Penn State run game is really good. But, brother, they rushed for over 200 yards last year when they played Oregon, and they lost.
Yep.
So don't come at me and say, well, if the run game gets going, Penn State's going to win. You didn't beat them last year when you did. So not to just sit here and beat a dead horse and pick on James Franklin. But I'm rolling with Oregon until James does it. Until you beat Ohio State, until you beat Oregon, and you shake the 10-2 curse that you've had. Give me the Ducks. Give me Dan Lanning. I like the tenacity that team plays with. I like the edge that team, because Dan Lanning in Oregon, they're going to buy into that.
Oh,
they're going to buy into it. They're going to eat that up, dude. It's like, hey, they don't like us here. We were talking about the guy that they're playing for clicks. We're talking about the same coach that gave that speech.
Yep.
Before they dismantled Colorado.
Dismantled that team.
And he knew the roster advantage they had. He knows. Dan knows. He's not stupid.
He's the most self-aware.
It's going to be an incredible game. It's going to be an incredible atmosphere. But I got to see Penn State do it. I got to see Drew Aller. I got to see him make the Gunnar Stockton throw.
100%.
Like, I got to see it. 4th and 6, game on the line. Put a dagger in somebody's heart.
Yeah, drop it down.
Like, do it. Show me you can do it. Because all the intangibles, all the measurables, everything we heard about you says you can. Show me you can do it.
So, Joseph, real quick, so just to make sure we're clear on this, you picked Alabama strictly out of principle. Even if there was no principle here, would you still pick Ohio or Oregon going into Penn State? Or are you picking this game strictly on principle as well?
Probably. Oh, God. I mean, I really like Oregon. Like, I really like the makeup of their team. Dante Moore is much better than I thought he would be. I thought he'd look a little green. No pun intended there with Oregon's color scheme.
Oh, I see what you did there.
I mean, yeah, it's kind of on principle, but I really just like this Oregon team. So maybe it's not.
I think this Oregon team just looked awesome.
I think they're just, and maybe it's also that I'm not fully in on Drew Aller. Like, I'm just, maybe that's contributing factor. I love their running backs. I love Katron Allen and Nicholas Singleton. They're fantastic, but I don't know what's going to happen to Penn State if the success with Katron and Singleton's not there. Because I haven't seen them be able to be elite in the passing game and make plays when they need to win these games where everybody's watching, where all the pressure's on. Give me Oregon.
Yeah. You know what's funny? I was listening to Quincy Avery. He's one of the guys that does Elite 11, and he's a big quarterback evaluator. So he's trying to get in that realm a little bit more for draft evaluation, things like that. So he's talking about Aller. And I was listening to this like early yesterday, and I was like, man, this is cool. And he was just talking about, watch what Drew's trying to do. He's changed the way he's thrown the ball. You can find these videos anywhere, and it's like he's trying to do that cool new age, like trying to throw all of his hips into it, and like,
Dak Prescott.
He watched 3 Dak Prescott videos. Like, I want to do that,
like the weird arm angles.
Yeah,
and
weird stuff. It's just because he has no identity, and he's just not. He's not a natural, great. Look through my reads, know exactly how I want to throw it. I'm comfortable with me guy. That's kind of the way he described it. He's like, he just doesn't feel comfortable. Like, he's like, I just don't get it with Aller. Like the frame and all the stuff. Like, he looks like a Penn State quarterback, big jack dude, can move, looks like he could throw it a country mile, that kind of guy. It just ain't there, man. It just ain't there. And it's just hard to trust somebody. Like, sure, he's so talented. He's a Division I, big time power 4 quarterback. Like, he's going to make awesome throws every once in a while, but he ain't it. He ain't the guy that can go out there and be a killer week in and week out, especially not on this defense. I think Oregon's a bunch of killers. I think they're the ones in waiting. I think they're pretty pissed about last year too, getting smoked by that Ohio State team. They're like, we want to be that team. I think this is a weird redemption tour we're about to find out. You don't want to get in front of. Poor Penn State just has to be that victim this week. Dante Moore's awesome because he also said, he's like, actually, Dante Moore's probably the best quarterback in college football right now. This is a guy that does it for a living. I know there's a lot of dudes that do it for livings, but Dante's the man right now. It's impressive. What Aaron say?
Talking about Drew, he said he lacks natural arm talent.
Yeah.
Just kind of wanted to throw that out there because you're right. He does. He might go down he probably will go down as one of the most prolific passers in Penn State history. But again, you couple him with James Franklin since he's been there, he also can't win the big game. And he made it, correct me if I'm wrong, but he made the big mistake in that semifinal game to help Penn State lose that game against Notre Dame. Did he not throw a pick or something along those lines?
It was something. I do feel like there was a blame game. I don't remember what that was, but yeah.
Give me Trace McSorley.
Trace McSorley forever. Changed it. He was a little guy, move around. What a winner. What a winner. Oh, dog. We burned through an hour and 30.
Hour and a half.
Almost.
It's what we do, boys. It's what we do. This is a good one. Real quick.
Last thing.
What's one thing you've learned in the first month of college football? It could be anything. It could be about a certain team. It could be a generality, like anything you've kind of learned. You first.
I've learned that you can't always trust the quote unquote experts. And maybe I won't even use the air quotes because sports, much like the weather, is really hard to predict. And, we believe our meteorologists, we believe our sports analysts and our football analysts and things like that. And this is no shade at anybody, specific. And we love our boy Max Chadwick, but he's the one that kind of came to mind. And, listening to him talk about this team and, other people talking about this team and the things that I read about him, like I was really, really excited for what could have been for Clemson this year. Really thought after last year, the momentum, Dabo kind of swooping back on the upswing where everybody thought he was kind of on that downward slide, getting to the college football playoff, the whole thing. I thought Clemson was poised to take a major step forward this year. And unfortunately, they have slid way back down further than they ever fell in the last couple of years. This is a terrible start for him. If he's not careful, his seat might start to get warm. And then another guy, and again, I'm not saying the experts were wrong on this one, but this is another one that's like, man, you look at this team and you look at the schedule going into last year, really difficult. They end on a really high note. They save their head coach's job. And then this year they begin the season on a bit of a slide with their 5-star quarterback in DJ Lagway and the Florida Gators, Billy Napier, my boy. It pains me, and I know you guys hate the Gators and all that, and I get it. But it's just really difficult, and with the schedule that they have as well, I know the defense is still playing hard. The offense just doesn't seem to have the juice that they need, and I love Billy to death, and he's, somebody that's always going to be near and dear to my heart in my radio career, but I really just will be surprised if he survives this year. And I know DJ is hurt now, and we talked about it on one of the previous shows about like, hey, could that save his job? I don't even think that's going to save his job at this point this year. He was really close to getting bought out last year, saved his job with the finish that they have. I really just think it's going to be very difficult for them to finish the way that they finished last year. I hope I'm wrong on this, but I feel like there's going to be a little bit of a give up initially or at some point throughout this season if it continues going down the path that it's going. So I learned that two of the teams that finished really high last year have fallen way back down, probably below earth at this point, and especially Clemson from where we expected them. Like Florida didn't have national championship aspirations, but you thought, okay, they've got the 5-star quarterback. He's got more, time under his belt after last year. With the quarterback in front of him going down. But Clemson really had that national championship aspiration coming into this season. The veteran quarterback, not a lot of them around college football that have had this sort of season and career that Cade Klubnik has had. They add a little bit of, a couple of pieces, more pieces. Both sides of the ball are a little bit more veteran, the whole thing. Really thought Clemson was going to do better. So that's kind of what I've learned through, 1 month of the college football season.
Me? Okay. What's funny is it's similar. I think that for me, the experts and myself, I thought this would be well, we know who's good at quarterback. There's gonna be a lot of questions. I just don't know who's gonna really take the reins. I think there's just a plethora of good quarterbacks, college quarterbacks. I don't know what these guys are gonna work out in the pros. Evaluation wise, it sounds like there's not a ton of great pro prospects. Everybody thought Nuss. Everybody thought Cade. They've been lackluster. Sellers, meh. But then all these other guys, Marcel Reeds, you've got anybody you could imagine, like Taylon Green. I'm just trying to think of some different guys. I think a lot of people knew, if you watch ball, you knew material was going to be something pretty good. I think he took a level that we're like, holy shit, this guy's going to be awesome. And Dante Moore, question mark, really good. Aller, meh, kind of what we expected. But a lot of these guys, like Ohio State, Julian Saints, pretty damn good right now. I think Ty's going to be on his way at Alabama. Gunner has clearly proven he can win a humongous game versus Tennessee. All these guys we had question marks, how good is he going to be? All those guys seem to pan out. It has been so impressive to watch how many good quarterbacks there are. USC doing their new thing. Lincoln Riley's making another great quarterback possibly. Indiana, Fernando was awesome last week. There's just a plethora of really, really, really good college quarterbacks. Again, don't know what they're going to be in the pro evaluation world, but damn, dude, we are in a good time for college quarterbacks, especially this year, and it makes we don't know who's going to win it all feeling like we haven't had in a while. Joseph?
I love that you brought that up, and to play off your point that we don't know who's going to win it all. I think we've learned, or at least I feel confident in saying we've learned. I think everybody's gettable this year. I don't think there's a team that just stands out head and shoulders above. It's like, hey, somebody's going to have to really bring their A game to get this team today. I think one of the last remaining teams, as far as national championship pictures that we really don't know a whole lot about, is Ohio State. And I think part of that comes from what we've seen from Texas over the last 3 weeks, where it's like, hey, I don't think we realized how much we didn't know about Texas in this offense. So that kind of makes me question, how good is this Ohio State defense? They've still got dudes. Don't get me wrong. They've still got dudes. Caleb Downs is still in that defense. He's still one of the best players in college football. But we're going to find out a lot about that Ohio State team this week. They take a road trip to Washington. Just like Aaron said in the chat, Washington's a sneaky team this year. There's a lot of people that are really high on DeMond Williams, Washington's quarterback.
Yeah.
They think he's kind of a sneaky player under the radar in college football this year. And that's a really, really good environment. Washington's not the easiest place to play. So I think that's what I've learned the most, just on a general landscape, is it doesn't feel like there's a team that's just going to roll out their helmet and win on a Saturday. You got to play. You got to come prepared, because it seems like everybody's gettable.
Yeah.
And again, Ohio State is that last team for me that really, it's like, okay, I got to see. Like, how do you look against Washington this week? Because I feel good about Ohio State. I think they deserve to be ranked the number 1 team in the country. And right now, I'd probably say, Oregon's look good, but Oregon State's not great. Oklahoma State, pretty sure I cursed them when I said this is Mike Gundy's conference. We'll get into that in a minute.
How much the buyout do you think you deserve?
How much does the buyout?
I feel like you deserve a little bit of the buyout from Mike Gundy because since that train, I don't imagine his record is.
I feel like I
good.
owe Mike Gundy a beer. Like, I'll be honest. It's like
if you were to meet him in Broken Arrow, Oklahoma,
yeah,
you're like, oh, you this.
If I was to meet him at an airport in Oklahoma, I'd just be like, listen, brother. Like, a beer would just show up at his table.
Yeah, be like,
with just a note that says,
you guys are at the Ruby Tuesdays.
I'm sorry. ... It wasn't your conference. And that's on me.
You have great hair.
Yeah. Like I wrote it up last night prepping for the show. I was like, I wrote up an apology. I was like, I need to open the show with this and be like, gentlemen, in August of 2024, I made a statement that I think forever changed the course of Oklahoma State football. And we have yet to determine if that's for better or worse. Because, we're talking about a coach that's been here 21 years. We're not talking about somebody that took the quick route, came from some like G5 school, and it just had a couple of seasons. They're like, yeah, this wasn't the right guy. I mean, we're talking about a coach that was there for 21 years. Like, one of the longest tenured head coaches in college football outside of like Kirk Ferentz. I think he was second behind Kirk Ferentz at Iowa. And a bad season and a half, a bad season and a third, and they're like, yeah, we're done. 21 years. They're just done. And, I mean, I kind of feel like that's my fault a little bit. Because, like, coming into last year, they had Ollie Gordon, a lot of hype behind them. Texas and Oklahoma were gone.
Yeah.
They went 3-9.
It was atrocious 3-9.
Yeah.
And
now they're 1-3.
God, that loss.
And I can't help but feel like the moment this is Mike Gundy's conference left my lips, I something happened. And they were just like, nope. This is not Mike Gundy's conference. This is not Mike Gundy's job.
No.
So, yeah, my bad, Oklahoma State. I'm sorry. I feel like I'm partially to blame for your past year and a quarter of hell you've been living through. But anyways, back to the original question, the original point.
Wait, can I ask you a quick question
about
Mike Gundy? Sure. Do you guys think that he lands back in college football, or he's just done?
I think listen, I think he'll end up coaching somewhere. I think he wants to coach somewhere. I would love to have him on TV.
Oh, yes.
Personally.
Yes.
I think he'd be great.
He would be.
Put him on TV.
He's only 58. He's going. Do you guys? Okay. Here's a fun spin zone for you. You ready for this? This is for you, Joseph. I'm going to make your day. This is how glass half full your boy can be. What if he were to take one of the bad Big 12 jobs? Like, let's say Kansas State just calls it this year. What if he wins? What if he wins the Big 12 in 2 years? Then you would be right. Then Mike Gundy would owe you a beer.
Let me tell you what I need. I need Mike Gundy to revive Virginia Tech football.
Ooh.
I need that in my life. Because you're telling me that man on the sideline, inner Sandman, with that hair, brother, the story writes itself.
Why can't he just be the interim for the rest of the year?
Like, the story writes itself, dude. Put him in Virginia Tech. Put him in Blacksburg.
Him in the maroon?
Like, yeah.
Just a little touch of orange now.
Dude, I'm telling you, I didn't know Inner Sandman needed a mullet the way it needs this mullet.
That's a fact.
So,
the Europeans could never understand.
No, they could not.
European mind could never comprehend.
They could not comprehend and I've seen videos of Europeans reacting to the entrance at Lane Stadium.
Yeah.
Inner Sandman goes so hard, dude.
Yeah.
And you're telling me Mike Gundy wouldn't just, like, that doesn't just fit?
Come on now.
I don't know if Virginia Tech wants him. I really want this. I just, like, this just popped into my head. Now I really want him. I really want him
I
at
think
Virginia
right
Tech.
now he is probably going to be a G5 guy. I think that's probably the route he's going to have to go.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I could see him taking a gap year.
Yeah. He'd be great for TV for a year. He's like,
Yep.
dude,
Yep.
let me just chill out, take $3 million to be on TV.
Pull a Dan Mullen. Just,
The exact same thing.
Yeah.
Take a UNLV-ish job.
Yep.
Perfect. Golish is going to move on from South Florida. He'd be great down there.
Sure.
Tampa's a great city.
He'd be
Especially
great
for
at
a
a lot
mullet.
of places.
Yeah.
But I just think about it.
Yeah.
Inner
Also-
Sandman mullet.
Also, I just thought about this because of the Inner Sandman thing.
Mhm.
This weekend's wideout for Penn State will be one of those videos we get in like 3 years and be like, dude, Penn State, Oregon wideout, we're all vibes. It's just the panoramic view. They do that little back shot. It's going to look awesome. I just thought about it. I was like, I think this is going to, the uniform combinations, it's going to look so sick. We're going to get that video because I got that video, I think it was 2019 Michigan wideout. And they, and they,
Jay Patterson.
they had that wideout and they were like, dude, this was all vibes.
Yeah.
And I was like, we're going to get this in like 3 years from now.
Yeah. They're playing Mo Bamba.
Yeah. Mo Bamba, that was the one playing. Yeah. All right. We got to get the hell out of here, boys. G, we love you, buddy. Thanks again, virtually from the kitchen this time. It's great to have you. Joseph, buddy, you've got a big weekend ahead of you.
Mhm.
Good luck.
Good luck.
Yep.
Thoughts and prayers. Yeah, I can't say much more because there's nothing to say. The nerves are built up.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Ron, we appreciate you in the chat, brother.
Hey, Tennessee's got a big game this weekend as well. We've glossed over them, but
Yeah.
they've
We
got
have.
to go to Mississippi State.
This is
That's
not
gonna be a tough
easy.
game.
Yeah, this is not easy. These both teams can score.
Don't sleep on the cowbells. It's kind of hard to sleep with cowbells, but
That's a fact.
very
That's a
loud.
fact. You don't need more cowbell this weekend. Go Vols.
Go Vols.
Like, subscribe. Appreciate everybody. We just want to test out the live. Thanks for joining on Instagram. Thanks for joining on Twitter. Again, Chatt It Up Sports everywhere. We love yous, and we out. Beautiful.